all, we are live again today doing characterization. This is our class number 7 in narrative writing, and we are looking at how to create characters. The last class we looked at creating setting, and we learned about descriptive writing techniques used in creating setting, how we will establish the environment. Now we're going to look at how we are creating our characters. Now in a story, your characters are vital to the plot. You need characters because characters' action is what advances the plot. You can have one character in a story, and I would not suggest more than 6 characters. Usually a good balance would be 3 or 4 characters. The reason for this is because of the short space of time that you have to complete the CSEC essay, a narrative. Creating multiple characters means that you have to do this multiple times. So it is best if you can limit your story to about 2 or 3 very good characters, and you will have the protagonist. The protagonist is often the hero, let's say the hero or the main character, right? Now, you can have, these days, you can have a story where the persona, which is the main character of the story, is actually the antagonist. And I will give you an example of that. The Joker, you all know that movie, The Joker? Bad Boy Thing. Now, the persona, which is the main character of the story, just happens to be a villain. Or he is portrayed as what you call an anti-hero, so he is the main character. So most times the protagonist is the main character, but you will have an antagonist. Now the foil is the supporting character. The supporting character is exactly what it says, supporting, as in it makes up for the deficiencies of whichever character they're walking along with. So for example, in your action and adventure, you may have a foil who's very good at decoding computers because the hero may not know how to code. Or sometimes you may have a villain who has a chemist or some very intellectual individual who can create bombs, some engineer or something. Then they will make up for the deficiencies of the villain. Right? So that's what the foil does, they support. Now you would learn also about the narrator of a story. The narrator of the story. Right? The narrator tells, well, this is the person or this is the voice that tells the story. So the voice that tells the story. The narrator does not have to be a character in the story. Right? The type of story or the type of narrator what's in the story will be dictated by the perspective of the story. So you have first person. This is where the main character is telling the main character's story. So I am usually used in these types of story. I. Then we have third person, where the narrator is actually another person looking at somebody else's life. So you would say she or he is usually being used in this type of narrative. Now you have the other one called third person omniscient. This is also some independent person who is giving the story about everybody in the story. So you will usually find she, he, they. They know everything that's going on. This all-knowing character can tell you everything about somebody as if they were first person. So they know what every character feeling is, what every character's emotion is, what every character's intention is, their desires. Right? Now, there is another type of narrator narrator that we call third person limited. Now this third person limited will use the same she, he and they, but they may not know the internal states of the characters, but they know what's going on in everybody's lives. So they'll know what's going on in this one's home, they know what's going on in the school, they know what's going on everywhere, but they may not know what are the emotional states of all of the characters. So when you learn how you are going to portray your character, you will know how to describe your character. If you're looking at a first-person narrative, you know you need to know everything about the character because you are the narrator, you are creating the main character, you know everything that's happening with that character. But if you're looking from a third person, whether that be third person omniscient, third person limited, you will have to know what aspects of each character you are going to create. You may not be required to give emotional states of all, if it is a limited perspective, but you must at least give the emotional states of at least two if you're looking at a limited perspective, and those two would be the protagonist and the antagonist, not necessarily the foil. So as we're looking at the different perspectives, you know, how we're going to narrate the story, how do we create these different characters? Well, the first thing is naming. Naming is a technique in writing because the name that you give a character is important. The same way when you're naming your baby, you wanted to give your baby a special name. So you look up what is the meaning of the name, and so when you are giving your baby name, you look up the meaning of the name, or you just wanted one that sounds like your name?
No, yeah. Put 3 second name for them. But the first name you go in the Bible.
Right. So see, you go in the Bible because you wanted to have meaning. Can you know where you got your name? Your daddy name Kenneth?
Kenrick.
Kenrick, well there you go. So you wanted everybody
but
to know?
I don't even know where my mother get my name from.
You are a queen.
Yeah?
Antoinette is the name of a queen.
You think Antoinette be scary?
Charming name is a queen too.
Yeah?
Your name.
My name, my father's name Showman.
Your name.
That is how I get my name. My father's name is Showman and boom. You have a child Showman. My name what? That's how you get your name. Your name is something special.
My mother tell me that she writes at the front name of my wallpaper and they come up with this.
Wow.
Like law.
So she don't know where they get this from.
So what was the name she intended to give
I think
you?
that's Kenisha now.
Oh my gosh!
Kenisha, she says.
So then you
Kenisha is so very different.
Yeah, and then they call me Tekla.
But I like Tekla, it sounds nice and exotic. Gavisha, let me guess, your daddy name Gavin? Gavin, there we go. So that is how we do it. Most times when you hear certain names, you know, it's what do you call that? Like an adage or something?
My father and my brother had the same name, same kind of everything.
Oh, he's a junior?
He is junior, my father is a son.
Right. So, well, I'm in the same boat as Gavisha and Kenida. My father is Sherman and boom, Sherman. But for my second name, it's Nadia, which means hope. Right?
Yeah.
So, yes. So, all of my children, I look at the meaning of their names.
My name is a French name.
Yeah? Well, that's nice, you're exotic.
My middle name is Vanisha.
Vanisha.
Vanessa, my mom name. Isha.
Oh, so you name after mommy and daddy? Wow. Is it?
Me too.
My middle name, my mother like it was French place over that name.
But Antoinette is a French name.
My mother name her 3 last daughter, Gilonese, Viennese and Dionese.
Because Antoinette is a French name.
And like a French, and she go get and 3 name. What you name after? You don't know.
So you see, naming is very important. So when you consider the name for your character, you have to consider the characteristic that that name embodies. Now these names can create different atmospheres surrounding the character. I'll give you an example of how humor is created based on the name. How many times you read in a book and they describe a big, tall, buff, big, muscular person named Small Boy or Little Man. Right? What about Shorty? And it's this tall guy. Right?
Some people else give some name, I mean, let's say, nah.
That's not their name. You
That ain't
understand?
fitting.
So sometimes you give names based on the physical description of them, and sometimes they can be oxymoronic, as in they can be ironic in the sense that the person, you have a different image when you hear the name, right? So sometimes you may hear a name like a girl named Portia, or Mercedes.
Porsche used to be John Compton. I used to work in St. Lucia, Porsche Compton.
Portia is a
Wicked Porsche try kill me with me. I wanna have a catch me bag and catch it clean. And they would tell them I'm going, eh?
So you see names, you can even associate attributes in a person based on their name.
Mr.
Right?
Take a message.
This is man anything, you know?
Walk.
What?
Yeah.
Honey Boo Boo. Honey Boo Boo is one of those ladies who are on those reality TVs. Yeah, you know that family with the thick girl, yes, Honey Boo Boo. So you think about those names, you hear Honey Boo Boo, you hear a name like Sally Ann, you hear them kind of name there, and then you hear a name like Ernestine. What is the image of, that's a mommy name? Ernestine.
Nothing wrong with it?
Nothing wrong with it, but
My mother had
how
a
your mother is.
No,
Based on her name.
my mother named Arabella.
Yes.
So I remember go look for that her name Arabella. And then the man name up here in Australia. She named Evabeth.
Evil.
Evabeth, and I will evil so.
You hear that? You
I
hear
think your name will your children and bring them out.
Evil Beth.
Yeah.
Behind his name, I say Jesus Christ. And then tell you.
Yeah, my sister, her name is Cynthia. Ooh.
Since I'm criminal?
Yes, Cynthia. Yes, you know. And then you know.
She good now, Shaman?
No, they're still a make a rule. What you do? Can't make people. They have to make themselves. So just. But the names really do matter. And you have to think of what you want the character to be. Right? So if you know you're going to describe the character and you want the character to have a surprise look, contrast into the name, look for a humor to turn it around. Right? So like you might find an albino person, they may call them Powder.
Milk.
Y'all ever saw that movie Milk? I love that short too. Milk. Milk for an albino character. Yeah, there was a movie Powder that was an albino boy. It had another well, she said Milk. I don't want to say this one, but you know, like dancing people, they may call them blacker. You know? So, you know, you just have to know the description that you want to say. And not to be demeaning, but you know, give the character some characteristics, some personality with their name. Then vices and virtues is another way which you create characters. Now when you do your character sketch, you will have to give your character at least 3 good characteristics, 3 good virtues. Whether they work hard, whether they love their family, whether they are loyal or whatever, but you also have to give them bad things. Right? So you can have somebody who loves their family but they love money too. So they're always begging their family for money or stealing from their mother's purse to go and do Beyonce concerts. You understand? Or you may have somebody who is married, so clearly they have no issues with commitment, but yet they are philandering. So they may not have a problem with commitment, but they have a problem with loyalty. Or you may have a politician who always talking about helping the community, but somehow whenever there is money around, he always tend to help himself.
I
Understand?
Licorice,
right? Wickedness in high places.
All the time.
So you have to give your character some sort of vice that they must work against, but you have to give them some positive quality that will work to their benefit. So maybe the husband's virtue of commitment will make him stop cheating. Or maybe the politician really wanting to do well and having a good name might decide later on coming down to elections, he might just do something, a quick thing, and build up a small center or something and get a couple votes. Or you may help a child who needed medical assistance, and after they get the medical assistance they become a doctor or somebody who actually help in the community. But you have to balance the good with the bad in your character. So give them virtues along with their vices. Physical description. Now physical description goes back to the same descriptive writing techniques we learned in setting, in the creation of setting. So whereas naming is different than the descriptive writing technique, right? Where you think of what a name will embody, right? So if you have a very shy girl, you may give her a name like Myrtle. But if you have a hot girl, nails, lashes, weave, all of that, you may name her Mercedes, right? Those names are very different. The vices and the virtues, those are just characteristics that you want them to display in their action. But with the physical description, we're talking about those same descriptive techniques, those descriptive words. How are we going to use those descriptive words to describe the character? What are we describing? The physical appearance. So if you have to talk about the person's height, the person's weight, the person's hairstyle, the person's complexion, the person have a distinguishing mark, maybe a mole, a scar, or vitiligo, or a particular shaped nose, or a particular shaped lip, or a particular shaped butt. You understand? And you can describe their mannerisms. Some people have certain things that they do, and these mannerisms tell you about them. You can tell somebody's identity from their silhouette. If you see them from a distance, based on how they walk, you could see those ones coming up the road, based on their gait. So these are the mannerisms that you would describe. Sometimes people have a little tick. They may do something. I talk a lot with my hands. That would be one of my mannerisms. Right? I also don't smile a lot. I tend to have a very scornful countenance. I don't know why I'm always like this. So I always have these deep lines downturned from constantly, maybe because it's my thinking phase. Yes, whenever I'm baking, like if I'm baking and so, my mouth is just push. I can't, if I'm writing, my mouth push. I don't know why, but I used to say it to my mother all the time. And sometimes if I'm doing something, my daughter will say, "Mommy, you upset?" I said, "No, Kelly, I'm concentrating." And now, I see it in my son. When he's concentrating, he will push his mouth. My daughter doesn't have that.
It's like me, when we used to go to school, and like if I write in, and my face said like if I vex it, she would say, "How are you upset with?"
Concentration phase.
Yeah.
Intense. So I don't know, I always have this upturn kind of push mouth kind of thing, but it's because I'm thinking, not necessarily because I'm upset. But people who know me very well, when they see my mouth like that, they say, "Oh, she's concentrated." But somebody else might say, "She's upset." Right? Put a smile
Yeah,
on
they
your
just tell me
face.
so too. Me say beautiful, put a smile on your face, say you know me? They can't speak.
Yes, they always want to see the woman looking cheerful, but they don't know most women have so many thoughts that we're always concentrating. So that's the face of concentration and deep focus you see. We have time to smile when we have things on our mind. So the mannerisms, those little things, those little quirks that you may see in somebody, you describe them in your character. But you're not just going to give random descriptions, so you know. It's about the story. So you're not going to talk about how the person contort the face when they're in deep concentration if they're just walking in the street. Unless that is pertaining to the story. Unless they're going to be doing something in action and adventure, like they have to disarm this bomb. And that's the look on the face when they're disarming the bomb, so that you can show the intensity. But you're not just going to give random description. The description must be relevant to the story. You also give your interaction with the environment. So when you describe the way people interact. So I'll give you an interaction. You know, the way some people may sit on a chair. It's not enough to say that they sat. You can say they slouch, or they sprawl, or they prostrate. You understand? That is different ways that you can describe the way somebody sits, their general way of sitting. Alright? Sometimes when you describe it the way students sit. This was a major point of contention I was teaching at an Augur school. A lot of the meetings you will hear some of the teachers, especially males, will complain how the girls always sprawl. And we need to teach them how to sit properly, but I don't think men understand that, you know, women sitting properly all the time is quite uncomfortable. You know, man spread. You ever see the way men sit? They take up all the space. All the space. They're all over there. And then they expect us to always be.
Maybe they try to sit over because
they have them. We have heat. We have heat.
Yeah, they don't hear me.
Yeah. No, it's just, I mean, think about it.
If they don't like clothes, they like, you know. They don't like clothes, they like.
Think about it. In order for us to keep our legs close together, we always have to be engaging these muscles to keep them squeezed together. Sometimes you just want to relax and just, you understand? I was in a van yesterday, and the conductor said, fat so, smile up now, smile.
They say they take my smile, they
3 ladies on the seat. One have a baby with baby bag and all kind of thing. And he decides the conductor, but he want to have the seat is smaller. So even the way you describe the way somebody interacts with the environment, and you would notice, for example, if you're describing the way boys hang out, and some of them may lean on the wall and the foot up thing, like this. Don't know why, because there's a very no,
Boys are.
no, you will follow.
We have brother Aaron.
That's how it's
What, Panny Man?
Yes.
20 foot up, so.
I saw me just stand up and start on.
I don't know how to do that. Yes, it feels very unsafe to me, but they always, sometimes they do it so quickly, you see them. I say, Lord, if I do that, I tumble over. Maybe I don't have the balance, but you know. But when you see guys, when guys do that thing, when guys do this, what is the mannerism or what is the impression of their demeanor?
When woman do it,
Boy, to look cool. Yeah.
and when woman do it,
I have never seen women do it.
I know.
And so when you do it, how you feel when you do that? Cool, man.
One over me, they make up my foot so I may drink me, they first see me, first you come.
You should chrome.
But they don't tell me, no. It's a Panny Man.
So she's having a nice time. When you see Anna with her foot on the wall, don't interrupt. She's frost. She's having a nice time. Cornelia, what is the way you how do you lie? How do you lie? Sit like the boys? Oh. Normal, you just vibes in. The whole a tile. The whole a 12 by 12.
Yeah, I was sitting there in my chair.
So you sit
So
down.
I'm in my chair.
So you turn it backwards. Yes. So you turn the chair backwards like that. Right. So all of those different types of interaction with your. Yes, Gavisha. So one foot up on the handle, or one foot on doing something, and you relax. All of those things, don't they convey a very relaxed, sort of confident type of mood? Right. So then sometimes you might see the guys and then they have a 12 by 12 marker, they're drinking on the ground there, and they just music play and they hold a space. You understand? And then they see the other ones and them who are going to bring tree branch in the band. They're running all over like they're crazy. They're jumping all on people. Headways, yes, Cornelia, I know you know the thing. So all of that is how people can get a sense of who you are and the mood that you're feeling based on how you interact with your environment. It can be fidgeting with clothes, it can be fidgeting with anything. Just if you're interacting with anything, it can say a lot about it. Attire and fashion. I don't need to describe how attire and fashion can give us an impression about someone. We do it all the time. Especially as women, we do it all the time. That's what she had. You understand? That's why you... Oh, yes. The outfits usually indicate to us. And so everybody talk about you. Why? You on one end, you're Miss SVG contestant number 13, and on the other end,
That's your video sheet.
we go
We
cheat.
did a class out now.
She could shoot yourself.
They're really from the water.
And then
We
on
did class
I hear what they say. I should put it down.
on the other end, they say look like vagrant.
Yeah.
Explain to me.
Miss Barbara, I have my good and bad side. And I want to just rub it.
Rugged, right? So when you dress rugged, what you want to convey? Well, you go pick up rusty man.
No.
I want man to go back.
My boyfriend is in class, okay?
No, when Mr. Senator, I must see you going to put up.
Okay, let me ask you a
I'm going to
question.
tell you something about me. I have my good days and my bad days. Sometimes I just feel like to just rugged and just move on. Move. You know, sometimes I keep going somewhere, okay. When you, sometimes when you're going to talk, when you're just going to talk, I'm not seeing you. The man, sometimes you're going to talk, people see this sexy. So me say, when me just rugged, to say
Yeah.
they still a you. But I still a see the rugged. Rasta.
Yes.
Definitely, yes.
But if they come to me and me with this specific talk, they always keep it and then I ain't really know this.
Because because they were young girl, they have on college clothes.
This
So once you put on that polo t-shirt and that jeans pants, they know you're in school. So they're looking for school.
But let me see if you really get into the school, man. No worry.
So as you can see, right? Can you hear?
Yes, I know you ain't going to something without just request man. You ain't just request man.
My point exactly. My point
No
exactly.
man,
So,
I tell you how to dress. No man, not buy my clothes. And me buy my everything there.
right. So when you describe the rugged look,
I know. If I get from my China and I sit on and I show my pants.
so are you dressing like that to be attractive?
No.
And to just that she's not dressing like that to be attractive. So if I just throw on a jersey, doll up my hair, I ain't even self put no grease, nothing, no cream on my skin, and I just bleach up pants, a 2 hole in the pants, all the time, so stoops, man, I go in the junk. So that is not me dressing as if I want to be appealing or attractive or confident or whatever. I have business, I have other things on my mind than to study my clothes. And that is what the clothes are saying about me, that I don't have time or I am not interested in being attractive.
Sometimes this is like this, like you are just you know,
So that you are you Yes, society wants you to look what? Feminine, cute, nice, lashes, nails.
Sometimes we just in some kind of business to say, girl, you must laugh at these. But if you don't want to go in play, but sometimes we just sometimes I make those kind of sexy dress and come out somewhere and just
Right, so I would say, based on how y'all explain it, y'all dress code show your mood.
Yeah.
Right, so it is the same in your story, your character will dress a specific way if they want to convey a message. So if I am more of a rugged character, I am a tomboy, I want to go in the river, pick pick up stone and stone mango, go on the thing to get crayfish in the river, right? I want to just strip down and create a small dam area where I could enjoy my days, climb tree and eat mango out of the tree, just so and so on. I'm not going to look for no sexy dress to go down the road to meet my friends. Right, a vest and a slippers, the quickest thing to your hand and you go. So that would tell me that that character is all about fun, excitement, and adventure. As opposed to the other girl who sits combing her hair, doing her edges.
Somebody say, I can't go looking like this.
Eh.
San Anto.
Yeah.
San Anto. Anto when they are out in the road, and go like you want.
Yes, I do that too. I just have some days where there are more important things than just,
You want to just put my hands
as I said, dressing to impress. And that is conveyed in your attire and your fashion. Right? So, a lot of people may describe a shy individual as somebody who likes to wear a lot of clothing. Long clothes, sweaters, long pants, baggy stuff. They always may have a hat. Or they have hair, joggers, the regular normal slippers kind of thing. As opposed to somebody who out on fashion, they got the nails, they got the bangles, they got the lashes, they got the weave, they got the Gucci bag and the Gucci belt to match. Like Kenila when she going out.
No. I'm not a fashion.
You're not a fashion girl?
You're a fashionist.
I am not a fashion.
Yes, you are.
I'm not a fashionist.
Because let's see how it is.
She dressed nice all the time with her.
Yes, she is. She is.
What do you think of that?
I don't know if you're not much of this
You
nice.
don't see the swimsuits and them ready for the magazine. I say, oh, okay. But then she said she's not a fashion girl. Now the description of the emotional state, desires, and intentions. Now you can describe somebody as shy, you can describe them as feisty, you could describe them as quiet, you can describe them as introverted. I would say, Gavisha, what would you describe yourself as? Introverted. Tekla, how would you describe it? You're feisty?
Yeah, kind of.
Kinda. And so how you describe yourself?
Get to.
Get that is good. Yes, I know. I came up with a word. This is how I describe myself. Sophisticated. Sophisticated and ratchet. You understand? One of my friends, she said, well, if I sophisticated, she not into marriage and settling, and she want the money man and things. She said, she sophisticated. She said, she sophisticated. You understand? So yes, I'm sophisticated. When I'm ready to be nice and fancy and Queen's English and all of that, I turn it on. I turn it on.
Me?
But check me any different ratchet. Hello?
Are you antisocial? If you're antisocial, you're supposed to
You're
like
antisocial. People who like party antisocial.
Could never be antisocial.
I am.
Where?
Let me hear how you're antisocial.
We don't talk to people who don't know me.
You're fresh.
I
That's
am.
it.
Fresh is a breeze.
That is not
Fresh is a
antisocial.
breeze.
Fresh is a breeze.
You're fresh.
And fresh is
You
like
want to change
You're
the
stoosh.
You go my own.
I'm not social. I'm
Yes,
just
cool.
hiding people in my village, right? They just watch me park and they say, you don't talk to me. You don't have to talk to that.
That's not
I feel like
antisocial.
my own sitting with me. That was me talking with my
But you see, antisocial.
Let's be not talking to people who I don't know.
It is good sometimes
But-
to see people say good morning and good evening.
Right.
Because
Some-
sometimes
You never know who can help you.
You know what I'm saying?
But Kenny, that is not anti-social. You know, when you hear the word anti and social, social means you like to socialize, you like to hang out.
Okay, well, then.
So if you hang out with
It's
us,
a party, baby.
okay, stay a party girl, but you're stoosh. You only want to party with the people you know.
Maybe you're party people who I don't know.
Right, so you're stoosh.
Miss Sush?
Yeah, that is it.
Sush,
You're stoosh.
come on, where the ship when you
You're
said
fresh.
that? I'm fresh.
You're no nonsense.
I know nonsense. But
Okay.
you know, tell me, I don't start chopping this and I don't start shit.
Right, so you're no nonsense.
Maybe, if you don't like me, I don't like you either.
I agree with that. 100%. I am not in the business
Because someone
of
who has
campaigning for people to like me.
Miss Helen,
Uh-huh.
if you say, okay, my main friend, and like them not your friend, she are your friend, and like the park and this is something, when I call you one, then you say, hey, if you get something to tell me, stand me from my face and behind me back down. When the top behind me back, you come right in front of my face and respect me and see the opposite.
And the children hold and beat you.
Beat me. We don't take man as we don't take man.
Shut him out. You could beat everybody who you could beat.
You could be a
So when you describe these desires, somebody's desire might be to be successful in life, to be well known. Politicians always want to be well known. They always want to smile on everybody's face, shake everybody's hand. And people who want to be popular always like that. They always want to be well known. Kanilia will not make a very good politician because she won't pass people straight. Politicians have to hug every baby, shake every hand.
Shake every hand, your man.
Yes. All the popular people, that's what they want. They want people to see them and know them.
Yeah.
Right? And then they just want to their desire might be to become successful at work. So they're always working. They're always on the grind. Right? They're always hustling, like Anto. Anto always hustling. That's right, Anto.
I'm a hustler.
I'm a hustler, baby.
I'm a girl, baby.
Yeah, do you understand? So that will be her desire.
Mister, what about you?
Yes?
What about
Me?
you?
I just want
You
it
stush.
like. I stush, yes. I don't care for people.
Yeah,
very much.
you have to stush.
I don't care for people
Hey.
very much, and unless when you see
Of
people
course.
don't like me, that's the best thing. Because when you don't
You
like
don't
me,
like
I don't have to like you, and it's one less work. I have to do.
Okay.
Trust
You don't let
me.
me like you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love when people don't like me. One less person I have to like in this world. I'm very stush in that regard. I really don't like people.
I'm going to start bullshit.
When you see I'm in my house, that's my happy place.
Everybody
Because I like everybody in the
But
house.
you say how people don't feel comfortable about being home.
What?
You know, people want to tell me now.
Hey.
Y'all don't see as soon as class over home now, yeah? Right.
So there is no place better than home.
Yes, trust me, y'all don't see as soon as class over, oh, I'm busting out of here, I don't want to be late for home. Trust me.
Yeah.
I want to go.
Because I'm so
I love yes. And listen, can you listen? The same way how you have to create the character and create the character fully, do that for yourself. Even though you're stush, own your stushness. So that when people down the road call you stush, you wouldn't feel offended. They turn around and tell them, yes, I know. Confidently, people can only hold things against you that you don't want to accept in yourself, you know. You understand how much people say, oh, you ghetto. You're like, yes, I am ghetto. Hold my shoes straight. Hello. You understand? Yes, I'm ghetto.
People don't say you decoration.
I get to
I'm
kind
from
of
the ghetto.
They want to walk over there.
Yeah, I say I'm from the ghetto and you could touch my big toe, you get deal with.
Exactly.
That's when they want to walk over there, they can't do it. So they will call them and kind of that.
Yeah. When I say live on the Lord, tell me what you mean. You're confident in who you are.
Be confident in myself, and I'm confident in nobody. Be confident with myself.
Right, so nobody can tell you who you are. When people tell you things
Well,
that you know
then
that
they
you're
do
not.
stush. We go tell them yes.
Yes.
The family man, maybe they do get on from it.
Yes. That's what
If you check
said yes.
my big toe today, tomorrow, I'm come after you stay to me.
Yes, you know nonsense and accept that. When I just say get the high five already, because I'm there with you. I know who I am and I'm happy with that. Because if you create a character, and the character from the ghetto, but the character is presenting themselves as if they're some different person. Like, you know, some people, they may not have certain things. Like they may not have a certain type of house or certain type of car. But when they present themselves to friends, they present themselves as if they're so rich. You know, oh, I just came back from Miami last week. This outfit came from Canada. You understand? Because some people like that, they try to present that they are more than they really are. And then what happens? What happens in this story? They usually get found out. They get catch. And that is the whole lesson
And
of the
sometimes they must
story.
tell lie.
Right, all those lies, what happened? The event. The lesson of the story is that they get catch.
Basically, sometimes, right? Like, say, okay, we go in a scene, and like, here's an action, you go just
girls pretending to be boys. That's real thing. That's a real. Oh my God. I know the boys. I know the some boys. Like, oh my God, I didn't realize that the girls are doing it. It's Miss Providence calling. Okay, so that's my son teacher. So let me wrap up this class. So I did a little Antoinette's curly hair form the crumb like powder puff on her head, creating a regal yet soft look. She smiled shyly as I introduced myself. She was obviously pleased to meet me. She rubbed her hands furiously on her acid wash jeans to dry the beads of nervous sweat to shake my hand. Yes.
It's supposed to be apostrophe S.
Thank you very much, Kennedy. She's the only one in the class paying attention. Thank you. Right, so here I spoke about Antoinette's hair. I spoke about how regal yet soft, because as Auntie say, she have her good days and her bad days.
Yeah.
You understand? She rugged, but yet she likes to look dressed nice and look nice. Shyly, she smiles shyly. So shy is her demeanor. And she was pleased to meet me. And she rubbed her hands furiously. So you know sometimes when you meet somebody you want to shake their hand, you don't want to. Right. So you get the sense of her eager attitude to shake her hand. So that would be how we can use all of these different descriptions. We get her physical appearance, you got the interaction with her environs, you learned about her fashion style, she has natural hair and acid wash jeans, and her emotional state. She was shy and she was pleased and she was nervous. Okay? Boom. Let me see what the teacher wanted.